we're just gonna go over a quick half guard series. All right, I'll start from keeping the person framed out. There's a bunch of ways that people like to keep a knee shield defense, but to start and stop their progression, I keep my foot locked on his hip. I usually pinch my feet together, might interlock them a little bit just to keep that like flex pressure, but the real key here is I'm blocking his hip with my knee and chin. I block his shoulder. Some people bring it all the way down to his like bicep area, but I'm blocking his shoulder and inside of like his trap and collarbone. We're here, and then I can push with my frame here, but I also get a frame across his neck and across his whole collarbone this way. Okay? I keep him out here, and I have a lot of options. When we're out here, he's still like, I'm not carrying his weight, so I'm not in super danger, it's still kind of neutral. A lot of times what I'm gonna do is control the back of his head here, and I'm gonna time my like pendulum action, where I'll release the knee shield, and I'm gonna sit up at the same time, okay? So I'll have him keeping him away, I'm gonna keeping some pressure in. I'll control the back of his head, still keeping the base here. Pendulum out, pull it up, and feed to my other hand here. Okay, for this one, I like to trap the arm. I have the leg trapped here, and I fall down to my side. I have my hands locked, and like a supported grip, one under the other, and I lock my elbow down as I fix my grip under his chin, and I get a nice focal point here and here. Once I have him locked here, I'm not stretching his body out here. I'm keeping him contained. I can even lock over here, and I'm driving his head down, his chin towards his chest, and my hands are curling up into that space that I'm eliminating here. So I'm creating this motion and this motion, and my elbow locks down. I want him to feel like he can pop his head out, but it's closed enough here, okay? So once I have my arms nice and tight, I just keep it static so I'm not squeezing super hard. I have it locked under his chin, drop my elbow, and I force his head down. I collapse into his body. As I collapse into his body, I hug my arms up and force his head down, okay? So it's this rolling motion, dropping motion, and twisting motion here, okay? Since I have the arm, it doesn't serve me to try to pull and straighten him out here. If I don't have the arm, I can do more of a conventional where I kind of roll back. But with the arm, I want to collapse into his head, force this down, okay? I also have other options where this can come up here. I like to bring this foot to the hip. This knee goes over his like scapula, thank you. Okay, I pinch my knees together. This hand guides along the elbow as I pinch and trap his, like where his thumb and wrist connects right here, in with my head, and I trace along here. I need to have this negative space here. If like we're pressed here, I'm just pushing down here, just like they always teach you, you can't submit him, so you're turning, creating this space here. I'm keeping him locked with my knees here, but sometimes you can even use your knee to support to break it. But really, what I want to do is keep this locked. Keep this tight here, and now I can just easily get a nice pressure on the back of his elbow as I keep it here. Okay. You obviously have triangles and everything from there too. We'll get to that later. Okay. So again, from our knee shield, we're gonna go into our, it's not really deep half, but it's like what I use is a substitute for deep half, okay? So this hand is gonna swim under the armpit, usually as I pendulum, and I'm gonna scoop myself under him even more. This stays locked over, and this hand either stays gooseneck out, or can come under to help pull myself towards him. I'll hook down here and really pull myself deep and figure form my legs again. I stay on my side. It's important that I stay on my side and not flat, and keep my head tucked so that he can't cross face it. If he does cross face it, we'll just start right there. Cross face and starts to flatten me out. I'm just gonna do the same thing where I have this and this. I'm gonna use my foot and I'm gonna shuck him over me and turn back onto my side. Keep this locked and figure for my legs again. and I'm back into the position I want to be. This hand is good to come around here, and what Burr was just demonstrating is even if he's going to punch me, he's only going to punch the top of my head where it's not going to damage me, it's going to hurt his hand. Okay, so this comes around and I hug tight here and tight here. I'm pulling him up over me, so he feels a little bit off balance here. Okay, once I've completed this move where I've shut myself down, I've hugged him tight, my feet are gonna switch from the outside to the inside. Okay, I never like let him go, right? So you can just get out there. I always have it locked, and my feet, when they switch at the same time. They switch, and then I scissor. And by scissoring, I create this nice lever point right here. Okay, for the first one, all I need to do, feed this to my hand, hug up on the thigh, use this, and drive into him. I can keep this pressure here and have like this funky leg lock, or I can keep it nice and tight. Complete position. Another option I have, we're out, come under, shoot myself in, I get nice and deep, I'm still in this first position. Okay, say I don't feel super secure, I try to come here, but I feel like a little bit based out, but I'm still far down and I still have this position opened up right here. I can grab around either his lat or his waist. If I'm low, I'm grabbing around his waist. If I'm high, I'm grabbing around his lat, and I'm opening up this elbow. Okay? Open up the elbow, and now say I feel like I'm not gonna be able to get this move to sweeping forward. That's okay, I'm gonna keep my legs locked for now. Okay? I'm gonna pendulum, and at the same time as I pendulum, this hand is gonna switch. It's gonna come out onto the other side. So I pendulum up, this hand comes out. Okay? This foot right here, if you keep it locked over right here, I can just come up and I can get like this funky calf slicer. But if I don't want that calf slicer, keeping this foot right here, it can keep you secure, but it can also kind of trap you. So I usually, as I'm sitting up, will bring this up here and turn my knee out. I keep my chest glued to his back, and I come here. Okay? In fact, you can even do the same one from here when you switch the positions, right? So now I have my foot switched, so I'm not going to be doing the same calf slicer, but since I have this lever point, come out here, I keep my chest tight to his back, and now since I have this lever point, I pull it as I sit down. Once we come here, I sit my hips out, bring my foot up, and I trap. You know, if you can get this arm, you trap and you tuck your foot behind his back. Obviously, go for any one of your chokes, but otherwise, you're just bringing your foot across his waist and your other foot to block his hip. Come in, pendulum down, I get nice and deep, okay? I do the move here, I switch my legs, I pass the hand over, I go to sweep him forward and he bases heavy, okay? So now he bases heavy, it's gonna be the same move as if he bases to block that, or if he sticks his right arm in to go for a choke, like a Darce, if he's in this position and he wants to test it. Yeah, exactly. So he's going for that, right? So it's gonna be the same basic move, okay? Either way, if he starts going in for the choke, I have to open my head up and loosen up on the choke for a little bit. So as he usually people will like reach super deep in here to get this, because it's kind of like the hard one, right? Or he can go for a guillotine, but that's kind of a little bit different, right? So I'm opening up here to fight the lock and not let him get his hands together. Okay, that's kind of important. That buys me enough time where he can come around and grab his wrist here. Okay. I have this lever here, I have his wrist here. My hips are gonna slide under his hips, and I'm gonna use my heels to dig into the mat as I come up this way. Okay. If I'm still in the angel with my arm, it's gonna come across his body, and I'm gonna come out this way. If it's my arm is out of danger, I can choose whichever way I want to pass. Okay. So that's going to be the same move as if we're here. Whether, if, say he doesn't get the choke, but he just blocks my first move, and I try to drive him in this way, I can't get him in that way, I'm going to slide my hips under him, use that as a lever, and come off to the side. You can do the same combination of moves if you're unable to trap this leg. So I pulled him under me, I'm keeping myself on my side, I pendulum my legs. Say I've gotten this underhook here, I've gotten this around, but he's hip to this, and he won't let me get this foot, so he widens it, okay? I wouldn't step it all the way up, because then I can just, if you step it all the way up, it is much easier for me to just, typically, I come here, I have him here, I go to reach for this, and he just, yep. Now I can't like grab it or whatever. The reason is I'm having a hard time passing it to this hand. Okay, you get like, if they know it's coming, it's not the easiest thing to do. Okay, so that's fine. I'm gonna come under, get myself nice and deep. Again, this is gonna come around, and I'm just gonna form either a gable grip in my hands or whatever. Sometimes I'll choke up to get a nice, like, deep control of his thigh. And then I can do the same move here. Switch, switch, hold. You can still get that same mode where you're going into the person or coming over. You still play the dilemma between those two positions. Okay. You also have, if he starts to flatten me out, okay. If I have the underhook, it's a little easier because I can shuck him. But if I don't have the underhook, right, and I'm pretty flat, I'm gonna form a little base on this hip. I'm gonna try to get this butterfly hook here. You can put it down. And he's, keeping me flat, okay? Now, I'm not gonna be able to just get all the way I want, but I need to use my butterfly hook and my shoulder to shuck him over me this way and turn to my side. Okay, so I'm blocking his hip. I'm keeping his leg pinched on both sides with both of my legs. I've got like a butterfly hook on a half butterfly. Okay, I'm gonna shuck him up this way. I can guide him. I'm gonna turn my shoulder this way. Okay, usually the person will still be like trying to come back into you, and you keep a frame on their hip here with this hand, and then I can just come back. Okay. So do it again. I have. You're flattening me out. Okay, like good pressure. Okay, I just bump up a little bit. Okay, and he wants to come pressure back into me, but I just keep my right hand on his hip and pop it through. So as we come back here, he's not gonna tighten up because of my knee, but you get your full butterfly guard back here. You can work from there. You can do the same position right there, where actually we're just going to turn it into a knee bar.
Got it.
So I'm going to come up onto my shoulder. He's driving into me. Come up onto my shoulder. Use this leg to carry him over. And as I sit up, I've got my feet are going to lock behind his butt, and my head is going to trap his toes. I'm going to fall this way and finish my knee bar. Okay, but you can get that same thing from this butterfly position, right? So he's flattening me out. I come up here. Feet locked behind there, trap his heels. I think that's it.